Hey everybody, what's up? What's going on? MommaC here. So guys, I am sacrificing myself to make this video outside because it looks like it's about to start raining. But I just wanted to come on here today and I wanted to talk about, hey girl, how are you doing? I wanted to talk about shame, and I made a video yesterday and I've been trying to clip it to my favorite part, but I wasn't able to get it. So I just wanted to just come on here and talk specifically about shame and the lesson that I learned. So this was back in 2015. I was a little young buck, you know what I'm saying? I was still doing whatever I wanted to do, going out, partying, drinking, you know, clearly probably not my best self. And I started dating somebody, dealing with somebody. And so when I first started dealing with them, I was getting out of a very abusive relationship already, which was a physically abusive relationship, an emotionally abusive relationship, where I pretty much spent majority of my 20s and teenage years running and moving apartments and hopping from here and here and here. And it was just a very scary lifestyle, but whatever. So I met this person and they pretty much brought themselves to me as if they were just this perfect person for me, and that's at least what I thought, you know, in the beginning. And of course over time that idea changed, but in the beginning that's what was brought to me. So pretty much what happened was we became close, and I was telling them about my experiences with abuse and what I was going through at the time, because at the current time I was actually dealing with this person, the other person I was dealing with, like stalking me, pulling up, fighting me, just doing crazy stuff. So I was very afraid. So I was talking to this person, and of course we had interest in each other, and he pretty much was very judgmental towards me, and he was just like, I don't know if I could ever be with the woman that has experienced abuse, because it shows that like a lack of self-respect or something like that. And I was like, dang, like, I mean, I don't think women necessarily choose to be abused. You know, it could be something that you grew up with or you don't know better. And, you know, for me, I know that I met the person I was dealing with at a young age, 16 years old, when I was in high school and they were out of high school. So I didn't know no better. So immediately that happened, and I told them a lot of my truths, and I was very honest about a lot of stuff. But there was something that I did not tell them. And it wasn't even intentional, really, but probably subconsciously, I was like afraid. And I knew that, well, if I tell them this, then they're probably going to leave me and they're going to abandon me. And I've always had rejection issues. So, fast forward a couple months later down the line, me and this person were still dealing with each other, and they were very emotionally abusive, very mean, very neglecting, just not the best. But I was already connected to them because we were sleeping together and we were dealing with each other, and I couldn't just walk away that easy. I probably could have, but at the time I was young and I thought that I could change the person. So a couple months in, I decided to tell the truth. I said, hey, you know what? I know that I didn't tell you this part of me because I was scared. But I want you to know this, because just in case if you ever want to marry me, or just in case if you ever want to be serious with me, like, and really, you know, do this, I just want you to know every part of me. So this person ended up taking that information. And, you know, I believe everybody has a right to be upset, to be angry, to be mad, whatever your feelings are. And when I went into the situation and I told my truth, I went into it not expecting things to be a fairy tale. I knew that maybe they would go off, maybe they would be angry, maybe they would never speak to me again. But I was okay with that because I needed to set myself free, and I needed to just tell my truth. So once I told them, this person ended up using that one thing against me for 5 years. So throughout the whole situation, they refused to commit, string me along, tell me, oh, maybe if you do these things, if you do these things, if you do these things, then maybe I'll be with you, maybe I'll see your value. And then as soon as I do it, it's not enough. So then they would keep switching the goals or up the goals for me, or would be extremely verbally abusive, sometimes physically abusive, very mean, very neglecting, very rejecting, withholding sex, but then would have sex, would just so many mind games that had me feeling so small. And I remember like people were around me and they would see the value in me, but I would literally just think, you're so basic, you have no value, you are nothing. And pretty much what they did is they used that as a way to keep me down, to have for really no reason if you think about it, but they used that one thing to treat me bad for years. And of course I didn't know my value and I couldn't see clearly. So I thought maybe I deserved that because of me not telling the truth. So I was like in such a low space, and I remember being at work and I would tell everybody I came in contact with, guys. I didn't get over this until 2020, when I started going to counseling, was when I was able to finally break free, because I was able to talk to my counselor about it. But everybody I came in contact with, I would run down all the things. I would tell them what I did, what happened with them, and I would say, do you think that because I did this, I deserve this? And everybody would be like, no. Like, if someone doesn't like what you've done, they have the right to be mad. They have a right to leave. They have a right to never talk to you again. But to stay with you and to still abuse you and to emotionally abuse you and tell you you don't have value and to call you a liar and a deceitful person because of one mistake that you've done, that's not okay. And so I really did think that I deserved physical abuse or emotional abuse or whatever they wanted to, them sleeping with multiple people, leaving me, coming back, because I felt maybe if I just continue to show my worth, maybe if I continue to show that I'm sorry, then they'll forgive me. They never did, to be honest. They never did. They would bring it up whenever it was convenient for them or whenever they needed to suppress me or make me feel small. And so what happened was I ended up having to I remember hearing people tell me these things. I remember feeling so small, so ugly. I didn't feel beautiful because I'm like, if I was as beautiful as people say that I am, if I am as good as people say that I am, why would this one person that I care so much about treat me so poorly? And so the analogy that I came up with when I was in this process, I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so let's put this in perspective, right? Like, if someone goes in, let's say the worst case scenario, this is really bad, but I mean, this is an extreme situation, right? So let's say someone goes into a place and they kill 15 people. Let's say a mass shooting, something crazy as hell, right? When they get taken in, right, the police are going to come. Now, we know this ain't, we're not even going to talk about that, but the police are going to come and they're going to take them to jail. And then this person is going to have to go to court. And then this person's going to have to go to trial. And then they're going to get sentenced. But I remember thinking, how many times does a person get sentenced? It's not really a trick question. It's one time. You get sentenced one time. You're not gonna go to jail and then go to court and then get sentenced every day of your life for the crime that you did. It doesn't matter how big it is. It's one time. And then, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, and even after they do that, they're going to be accountable, which I am all for accountability. But the judge isn't going to go into this person's jail cell every single day and be like, you have no value, you deserve to die, you ain't this, you ruined everybody's life. No, they're gonna tell them, hey, you did this wrong, hey, this is unacceptable, hey, you're gonna spend the rest of your life in jail or whatever your consequences are, but it's over, that's between them and God, or them and their self, and them and that congregation of people that they're gonna have to fight off every day. But you're not going to be sentenced multiple times. So I started to think, I'm like, who is this person to sit here and have me on trial for 5 years, every single week or month, telling me I have no value, telling me I'm not worthy enough to be a wife, telling me if I do these things, I'll be a wife and all these things. And then only to find out that they weren't perfect either. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to is shame. Like, sometimes we do things in our lives and it might not be the best decision, but a lot of times we're not healed, we're not okay, we're hurting inside, and we're doing just the best that we can. And I remember, I'm like, do you really think that I wanted to lie to you? Do you think I wanted to withhold stuff from you? Do you think that I wanted to feel like you would leave me or neglect me? No, of course not. But that's how I felt at the moment. Is that okay? No. Is it okay that I didn't, wasn't 100% honest? No, but I was honest early on. And you continue to deal with me for a very long time after that. So I just want to know, like, does that mean that you've forgiven me, or you don't, or you like me, or you don't? So I just really wanted to come on here today and just encourage whoever's watching this or whoever sees this, that if there's anything that you've done in your life that you might have done wrong and you regret it and you feel shame about it, but you changed it, you should be free from that. Don't let people hold you down for a decision that you made maybe at a certain point in your life, and you did your best that you can. Maybe your best wasn't the best at that time, but you did your best. Then you need to set yourself free, and you don't let people abuse you, physically abuse you, emotionally abuse you, string you along, make you prove yourself forever for nothing. There's nothing that you can do. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like something that you do that bad, then they have the opportunity to walk away and never talk to you again. But not use your body, not use your time, not use your car, not hang out with you, not talk to you, and abuse you in the process. That's where we go into a manipulation and abuse, and it's no longer valid. And now you've become, that's why I always tell people, like, sometimes you can be the victim and the victim can become the abuser because you refuse to just either let go, or you think that you have the right to get revenge. And at the end of the day, we don't have the right. And in the scripture, God talks about it. He says, vengeance is mine, because God knows our hearts, and God knows, God handles us. I know there's a lot of things that I've done in my life that I'm still accountable for to this day. And I'm still paying the cost. And I bet you anybody on here can say that. There's things that you've done in your life. There's always a cost for our actions. We're not exempt. We're not able to just do anything. We're always going to deal with that, rather if it's self-inflicted pain, or pain from others, or financial pain. Whatever that pain looks like, we're going to pay for it. So I always believe vengeance is not ours, it's God's. And so for me, I never match that person's energy. I never abuse them for abusing me. If anything, I was trying to make them love me, but at a certain point I let it go. And it was crazy, because once I let it go, and once I realized that they were abusing me and manipulating me and just trying to, like, hold that over my head, and I forgave myself, all of a sudden they don't talk about it anymore. It's no longer a problem. So I'm like, wow, so you was only doing it because I didn't know better. You were only doing it because I was just so naive, and I was just allowing you to literally abuse me. So I just want to encourage you, ladies, men, whatever, it doesn't matter what you've done in your life. If you did it and you learned your lesson and you changed and you grew, you deserve to be set free. Now, if you did it and you keep doing it and it's a repetitive decision, that's between you and that person and the world and God. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But for me, on my standpoint, I know that I did do something. I didn't tell the full truth, but I did apologize, and I did change my ways, and I did pay for it for years. And I really wish I could have known my value, and I wish I would have known, Sarah, it's okay. You're a young girl. You're 23 years old. You don't know no better. It's not like you have the greatest, examples. It's not like you really knew about honesty and integrity and anything. I never learned about that. A lot of the things and tips that I've learned are by the grace of God, because I never learned these things. So we have to acknowledge, hey, I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I have. And you need to have people in your life who will give you grace to grow. And if they can't give you grace to grow, and and have enough love in their heart to explain to you, hey, like, I know that you lied about this, and I just want to let you know that you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. Like, people will love you and accept you the way that you are. And if they don't want to be there, it's okay too. You got to let them go. So, I hope that you took something from that point. I'm going to go ahead and post this on my page so that, it can be rewatched. But I just wanted to give so much love, man. I know that it took me so long and nobody really understood what I went through. They were like, just get over it. And I couldn't, because I had so much shame within myself, and I allowed somebody to treat me very badly. But I'm no longer walking in shame anymore. And I'm like, you know what? When I make mistakes, over and over again, and I go before God and I ask God for forgiveness, and I ask God every time I go to God. God is always there for me. God doesn't say, oh, you're this, oh, you're nothing, or he doesn't say, okay, in order to come back to me, you have to, I'm not going to talk to you for 6 years. No, God is a loving God, and that's what love is. Love is kind, love is patient. Love brings peace, love corrects. It's a whole bunch of things. But when someone is saying it's love and they're abusing you, that's not it. And if God doesn't hold me like that, and God doesn't treat me like that, and God doesn't condemn me like that, then no person on this earth should ever condemn me like that. And so I've had to apologize to myself. I've had to forgive myself. But now I most definitely walk in truth, and I walk in boldness, because I'm like, guess what? You're a liar. And guess what? You got me for 5 years, but you don't got me no more, because I can see clearly now. I can see clearly that all you wanted to do was use me up and keep me in shame so I could be convenient for you, and I can kind of be like emotional punching bag. But fortunately, I'm not available for that anymore. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really want to just come on here more and talk about my stories. I have a lot of stories and lessons that I've learned. And if there's ever anything that you have questions about, or you're going through something personally, just know that I'm always an open book, and I'm willing to look into it for you. And if I don't know the answer, I can find it. But majority of the time, I probably will know, because I've been through a lot of different things. But I love you guys all. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. It's a beautiful day out here, guys. Look, I just want to show you. Look, I'm at the park with my daughter. We're just enjoying a little day out, and I thought I'd just come on here and make a cool video and spread some love, giving so much love and positivity. Peace, MommaC.